All right, what's that, everybody? Kory Prince. We've been friends for a while. We met through, I believe, right before COVID when we were running at that time, Chime community before it turned to Lofty. We
Right.
would have him on continuously, really wealth of knowledge when it comes to quarterbacking a team, running a team. He specializes in Google PPC conversion and generating leads. He's done such a great job over the years that when you popped up in lab coats, I'm like, dude, let's do a webinar. This makes sense, of course.
Totally.
And great timing because I had no idea that you'd created this cool thing on school, which by the way, Young's going to put in there just in case people missed it coming in. And let us know what city, what state, what country you're from. And Kory, take it away, man. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, so I'll just give you like a Cole's Notes version of how I got my start in real estate. So I'm Canadian. I live on the West Coast or close to the West Coast of Canada. So I'm in a place called Edmonton, Alberta, which is like Alberta's a province similar to a state. It's basically the Texas of Canada, if you will. Oil country,
Nice.
quite conservative. That's where I was born and raised. That's where I live now. My real estate business is one province over in British Columbia, which in Vancouver, actually, where the Olympics were in 2010. And when I first moved there, I was about 26, 27. I didn't have any family there. I had some friends because I'd been there for like maybe a year or so. But I'm like getting into real estate. I'm like, where am I going to get clients from? Like, where do people look for real estate? And I thought, where would they typically look if they're looking for real estate? And I thought they're probably going to search Google. Same thing
Yep.
now. They're probably just going to go on Google and search Vancouver condos, Vancouver houses, with a decent price. So I started doing that like right in August of 2010. I started doing Google Ads for my real estate business, and I've never
Perfect.
stopped. I've tripled down, doubled down all the way through COVID. And yeah, it's generated over 80,000 leads at a buck six per lead. So it's been pretty lucrative.
When you started in 2010, what platform were you leading them to? Like website? Because
I
you've changed since.
Yeah, so I started with just a landing page generator called Unbounce, where it was a
Oh,
simple.
yeah,
Have you ever used it before? It's actually quite
dude,
powerful.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
So I started with that and I used that. And then I realized, okay, getting the leads is great, but converting them is better into actual paying customers. And I realized I needed a CRM behind it. So I started
Mhm.
creating my own CRM on Zoho, on the Zoho platform,
Wow.
um, which it worked all right, but it was like it still was a bit of an issue. And I stumbled across Real Geeks about a year and a half in and bit the bullet, paid the money, and then Real Geeks sort of like changed my mind on how powerful real estate CRMs could be. And then I
Okay.
switched I switched to Lofty, which was Chime at the time back in 2018 because of their
Mhm.
AI assistant. And yeah, I still use Lofty. Real Geeks is good. Pretty much all of them do a good job. You just have to get enough leads into it and have a robust system to follow up and convert them, right?
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. And I just signed up for your master class, your Google Ads master class. So
right.
you'll see me in there. Dude, you've got some pretty cool here before we get going. Let me see if I can go back to because I'm on that sign up screen. I want to showcase your
Sure.
ads section just so people know what it is. How long is this master class that you offer for free here?
So the community started, I created it back in about May of 2024. I spent
Okay.
about 6 or 7 weeks developing a 5 week masterclass. It's 5 weeks. It's about 24 hours of video content that like distills down how I learned like what I've done with Google Ads.
Okay.
And yeah, I discovered school because of Alex Hormozi.
Yeah, I
I've been
remember that.
following his content forever, like a lot of us in real estate. He's just a really savvy business guy. He said he invested in school. I heard through the grapevine it was between 100 and 200 million dollars he invested, which is not small
Wow.
money, right? And so I started checking school out, and I decided, people have been asking me to teach or set up their own Google Ads campaigns for the better part of 14 years, and I've just said no because honestly I didn't want to train my competition, to be completely honest with you. And then about a year ago, I thought, you know what? There's plenty enough to go around. Why don't I just like share all the secrets? Just tell everybody exactly what I know. And conversely, instead of having less business, I've had more. Like people are very appreciative of it. And they they check out the community, they tell other people about it. And then of course there's some offers further down if somebody wants me to set up their campaign for them or something like that. There's a pay service for that, but all the free stuff there is really valuable. And I basically designed the course to be better than the stuff people pay for was my goal. And I feel like I've achieved that.
Wow.
So
Well, I already sent it this morning to a few people.
cool.
So if you're going to take us through part of this, just so we understand what we should be doing for Google PPC,
Yeah.
where do we start with this, man?
So in the course, if you go into the community and go into the course, the first week, the way it's structured is the first week of the course and the free community is free. And then if you want to pay to watch the rest of the course, you go into a premium community after that. But the foundation is all in that first week. I'm not hiding anything. I'm basically teaching you everything you need to do. And then if you want to implement it, you can go implement it yourself. If you want help implementing it, you basically would just go into the premium community, watch the rest of the course, and then you get Q&A access to me for twice a week, like a full hour, Tuesdays, Thursdays. And then I found that the people that come in the Q&A and ask a question, they actually get their question answered, and then they can implement like that day. And then their ads improve a lot faster. And then there's also a white glove campaign creation. If somebody's like, I just want it to work, I'll just set their campaign up for them and I'll optimize it for 4 weeks and hand it over totally running. So I do that too.
Easy, man. Easy. All right. So this is the community I'm at so people can see. Because I just joined. I wanted to do
Perfect.
it live so people could see what's this is the first page that I get.
Correct. Yeah.
So you've got these pinned items over here, and landing pages that print money, right?
I just
Well,
did that webinar just before we came on here. We had 100 people on that webinar just before here.
nice, man.
Yeah,
Very good. Well, this is all good. This is all PPC. So this is where we would go if we wanted to learn more about all Google ads.
correct. Yeah. You'll get the welcome package. If you click on the Google Ads Masterclass Lite, the one in the middle there, that's the free class. So the first week on the left-hand side, if you go click on that. So that first week right there, that's all the free content. And then if you want the rest of the course, you just pay to upgrade into the premium community.
Dude, that's a lot you're giving.
It's almost 24 hours of content. It took me 7 weeks to block, structure, and film it. And it's literally like everything I've learned for real estate ads on Google pay-per-click in 15 years. Yeah.
I bet you learned even more teaching it, man.
That is something I've heard that before, and I've never taught anything at a high level. You have
Mhm.
to learn how to distill it down to a super, super simple level, thinking about it from somebody who's never run ads before. And that's the feedback I've gotten as I've iterated the course is just make it simpler, making it more specific, just basic. And yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like I've learned so much. To teach something, you have to truly understand it to teach it well,
All
right?
right. So take me through some of the things that we can do when we're looking at, let's say we're either going to hire someone, a company to do Google Ads, or we
Yeah.
learn them through your process, right? Whichever one we do.
Yeah.
How do we have the best success with these? Because you and I have heard for years, nobody picks up the phone anymore. Online leads suck.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of that, right? But you
Yeah.
and I have built most of our business. I mean, it's still my second source of income under referrals because we just been running it for a long time. So referrals
Yeah.
and then leads. But where do we succeed with online leads instead of fail?
Yeah. Good question. So I'm kind of the flip. I could do better with referral and all that. My number one source, 87% of our business is Google pay-per-click.
Damn, bro.
87%. Yeah. Yeah. So I'd say the best place to start is thinking about there's different kinds of Google ads. People get confused and they think all Google ads are the same. What I want to talk about is the basics. The 90% of ads are Google search ads. So when you search on Google and you put in Malibu houses for sale or some variation of that, then there's a text ad that shows up that says Malibu houses for sale with some information. That's a Google search ad. That's a typical Google search text ad. That's what I've built the majority of the business on. And those are triggered by keyword phrases. So when somebody searches a particular keyword phrase, that's what causes that ad to serve, right? So most people start with, oh, I want the landing page, I want the ad copy, I want all this great stuff, but they're not building it on a foundation of any keyword research. And the keyword
Got it.
research is kind of like the preparation in painting before painting. If you don't do the painting prep first, your paint job's not going to look good. But if you do the paint preparation really, really well, painting goes smooth and it looks good. You have to prep first, right? And keyword
Exactly.
research is that preparation.
I like that. All right. So keyword research, that way we're targeting the right areas
Yeah,
and we actually get a low cost per lead or higher cost per lead, but still higher quality lead because they're looking for specific niche, right?
totally. And the ideal like holy grail of keyword research and keywords is high search volume and low competition. So extremely high search volume and low competition of people bidding on it. Sounds like a holy grail. It is. And there's one that in America specifically that I've been using for clients that I'm just going to reveal here. So I believe in sharing the secrets and then selling implementation if they ever want it done. Zillow.
Hmm.
People pay tons of money for Zillow leads, obviously,
Yeah.
because they're quite low on the funnel compared to a typical PPC lead in general. And what I've done is I've started targeting people searching Zillow with a no-brainer offer that differentiates you and your team compared to Zillow. Usually it's hyper local. Usually it's our website has real estate listings that are updated more frequently than Zillow. We offer
Mm.
sold prices in our market. Zillow doesn't. If you craft an ad that's really good on that, you have absolute abundance when it comes to search volume. There's 20.4 million Zillow searches per month in America. There, you'll
How
never
many?
run out of people searching Zillow. 20.4 million average monthly searches with rock bottom competition, right?
Damn, bro. I bet that Redfin has that same strategy that you're telling
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
That makes a lot of sense. That's why they always show up towards anytime we're doing Google PPC in our
yeah,
area, it's Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com, sometimes
yeah.
Homes.com, which is funny, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like when it comes to the Zillow play, which I've started doing for like white glove clients where I'm setting it up, I think the most powerful thing typically is the data feed frequency. So in some areas, Zillow might update once a day or whatever it is. You can check into that based on their data feeds. And then with your particular IDX or your virtual office VOW feed for your real estate company or your real estate board, oftentimes they'll have a 5-minute frequency update. That's a really good differentiator. It's like if you're in a buyer's market and it's really challenging to find properties, would you want to list once a day or would you want to list once every 5 minutes?
True. Very
Right?
true.
Yeah.
All right. So you do some homework, make sure you've got the keywords down, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's your first communication look like to them and in the long-term communication? Because a lot of these are longer term conversions.
Yes. And that's like that expectation of the sales cycle is one thing that I think people get wrong when they're a realtor and they start pay-per-click at the first time is they do a
Mhm.
month or two and they don't do as many deals as they want and they think, this doesn't work. The sales cycle when somebody is just starting to look for real estate is pretty long because looking for real estate isn't buying real estate. It's looking. If they're considering maybe they've got a bigger house and they want to downsize because the kids are gone. Maybe they don't have their down payment saved up yet, but they want to see what they're going to get in 6 months or a year. Like in my data that I track from lead sign up to close deal. On
Mhm.
average, it's about 1 to 2 years for Google pay per click from sign up to close deal on average. There's low
Okay.
hanging fruit that's faster, but I'm talking about the average conversion.
Yep.
So having that expectation and just understanding that you need to have a really robust follow-up system, like for instance, like you have and I have through Lofty, where you have an AI assistant texting them, maybe you have voicemail drops, maybe you have other behavioral buying signals that do things that make them feel like they're being nurtured personally by a person. So 8 months down the road, when they see that property and they're excited, they feel like Tristan's been taking care of them, even though they've never answered your call yet, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit for me.
Yeah.
When we're looking at keywords, we're building out the ads. What have you seen is a sweet spot to start with as far as monthly spend? Because we get people that are like, hey, I'll try $300, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that's
they're sad because of nothing happens.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I get that question in the Q&A section of my webinar every week, almost every single week.
Yeah.
And I'd say I always recommend 1,000 USD per month. That's like where you want to start.
Minimum.
Minimum, you start there. Have I seen somebody be successful, and myself included, at 500 to start? Yeah, but it took not twice as long. It took 3, 4, 5 times as long to get the data to make the decisions, right?
Yeah.
So 1,000 a month is really like the sweet spot to start. And usually I find people have a hard time spending money with advertising when they don't believe it's going to work. If you put
Mm.
$1,000 in and it turned into 5,000 each month, you'd put all the money. You just keep
Yeah, of
cranking the
course.
money up,
Return on that is
right?
huge.
They need it to work. If it works, people have no problem spending money to get a return, but they've usually been burned by so many different lead gen companies that they just don't have a belief that it's going to work. So they want to keep the budget low because they expect to lose it, right? That's the problem.
That is the problem. That's how they start, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say, well, tell me in your area that you work, that you are bringing in leads from. What's your cost per lead average?
So the average over 15 years at 80,000 leads is $1.06 US.
That's pretty good. Has it gone up over the last few years, or has it remained pretty low?
Good question. So it's gone up. The at right now it's about 250, 256 in that neighborhood, but I was
Okay.
getting them for 33 cents back in 2010. So like the median average, like they
That's
average
still
out,
not
but
bad though, man. $2.60.
well, $2.60 Canadian, and my average commission is 10 grand. Like even if the conversion's 1%, that's like a
Yeah,
couple $100 cost to acquire a customer to make 10 grand. That's really good, right?
very true. So for us, it's closer to $15, right? If we do it ourselves and not go through a company.
Yeah,
But again, our average commission check is closer to 20,000, right? So
yeah,
it totally makes sense, even at a 1% conversion, right?
yeah,
When
yeah.
you calculate the numbers like Kory and I have, like there is no reason anyone here should be going to Zillow, Realtor.com, or anybody else that sells leads like that, because they're selling you like $500 per lead in some areas.
Crazy.
And so,
Crazy. And the Zillow play that I mentioned here, which is like definitely secret sauce. It's challenging to implement, but I've done it,
mhm,
is you're targeting the leads that they would be selling you, but you're paying dollars for them versus hundreds of dollars per lead. Same
mhm.
people, same customers. They just didn't pass them to you. You intercepted them as they were going to Zillow, right?
That's it. Good question here from Madar. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that whole name. Uh, what about dynamic pricing for PPC?
Dynamic pricing, as in like doing bid adjustments based on different things. I do that from time to time. I find that I do that with devices. So I'll do that with specific tablet versus computer versus phone. Sometimes one will convert better. It all comes down to like data. Once you get enough data, you can look at it and say, okay, I got 20 deals from this, 5 deals from this, 8 deals from this. Maybe I should just turn down the budget on this thing and turn up the budget way up on this thing. So it definitely makes sense, but it's something you shouldn't guess with. It's something you should use data to make that decision.
Okay. And then when you're looking at on the back end and you're looking to see how many leads you've gotten, right? Out of out of the leads you've gotten, how many are actual sellers that you get listings from? Because
Yeah,
we hear the opposite, which is, oh, I don't want to buy leads. I want listings. And then
yeah,
I don't even want to get into it. But you tell me.
yeah. I will just start with online appraisals, free valuations are totally burned. The market is sophisticated. Everybody knows those are lead magnets. Everybody knows, so they don't want to do it. So
Hmm.
when we generate buyer leads traditionally, and about 40 to 42% on average will answer yes to the question if you say, hey, in order to make this move, do you need to sell your current home? When they say yes, boom, now they're buying to sell. And
Yep.
you're doing that to help them. You're not doing it so you can extract money. You're asking the question in the process of building rapport and helping them. So 42% on average, what we've discovered.
All right. I'm going to let me log into one of my CRMs and turn on the blur mode so I can show you. Um, so I can show you some things, okay?
Beauty.
Which you already know. I'm just doing this so that everyone else can see.
I might not know. I try to
No,
learn
no,
every day.
No,
right?
you know this one. This one I know.
Okay.
Let me just because what happens if I don't turn on the blur mode and this goes on YouTube?
It just gets taken down immediately.
Yeah, they screw me. So,
Yeah.
all right, there I turned it on. Let me go back and then let me share my screen. This is for everybody else that's wondering, and then I'm going to go into the question I have for you based on this. So, this is follow-up, boss, not Lofty, right?
Yep.
I use both. I think we have our database equally split. We've got 80,000 on this one
Beauty.
and a little bit less on the Lofty one. All right, so this is a Ylopo lead. You can't see it. It belongs to our agent Jacob, right? And if I go down a little bit, you can see it's an ad word, right? It's an ad from Google.
Yeah.
What's there? If I scroll down, this has been a lead from a while ago, but typically they come in through a funnel. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about, Kory, because our leads have been higher quality because we take them through a funnel, right? We take them through a funnel where, like you just said, do you own a home, right? Do you
Yeah.
what? So these are the questions that we ask. When do you plan to buy, right? And we give them options because they're not going to type it in. We're like, hey, well,
Totally.
now 1 to 3 months or whatever. They picked 4 to 6 months, and then we say, are you going to do this cash or loan? The cash. Homes with a view, we give them options. They chose no preference. Do you need to sell? That's that's the key right there that Kory was talking about. The answer
Yeah.
is yes for this one. We're finding
Beauty.
ours about a little over 30% of them say, yes, we have a home to sell. Now,
Yeah.
my conversation with them, when I call them, I'm not going to forget to ask, right? And so we have questions like this just to get a higher quality lead. Because if they go through this whole process, chances are much higher that they'll want to talk to us and that they're a little bit more serious. So that here's my question. I needed to show that first. Kory, what type of funnel do you have in place? Because I find that the ultimate secret for running Google PPC, Google Ads, is the funnel.
Yeah.
That's what gets us the highest quality leads. What does yours look like? What do you use?
So I target some particularly keyword phrases depending on which region we're bidding on. And then what I do is I send them directly to a landing page on Lofty that has really good message alignment. So if they're looking for penthouses in Vancouver, the landing page is going to mention penthouses in Vancouver. It's going to show the listings that are penthouses in Vancouver. When they click on the particular ad, they're going to be forced to capture on that first particular listing. So they're going to have to put in their first name, last name, email, and cell phone number to view the listing. And then there's a pop-up question in Lofty that asks those questions that you're asking there, like of some variation of those questions. And then that's just a lead. That's a pay-per-click lead. Is that somebody who's going to definitely buy or sell with us? Not necessarily, but they've raised their hand and they've converted to create an account on the website, which is really great. Then I'll
Yes.
retarget them with Google retargeting on the display network with different YouTube videos, different image ads that build up our value as a team and why they should use us or what makes us different than other teams.
And
So
do you through Lofty or separately?
I do it personally just through Google Ads. I don't pay Lofty to do it, but Lofty they sell that service, but I just prefer to do it myself because I've been doing Google Ads for so long. And what it does is it builds like affinity and almost makes you like a local celebrity in the area, where
Mhm.
they haven't talked to you ever in maybe 12 months, but they've seen your ads, they've watched your YouTube videos, they've watched your like buyer and seller sequence videos that we create that sort of walks them through the process. So by the time they reach out and say, "Hey, Kory, we're really thinking of selling our house in Vancouver. Could you come over, or could somebody on your team come over?" They've kind of already decided that this team is really good. They just want to find the person who's going to do business with them. It's a much easier close. So that's kind of
Good.
like the basic funnel, if you will, but there's more parts to it as it gets deeper too, right?
I like that. Two questions. Stacy says, so your ads cost differently on mobile, tablets, and laptop or desktop?
Yeah, I notice a pretty stark difference depending on which one. Depending on the strategy I'm implementing, if I see one is a lot less expensive, I may double or triple down on the less expensive one. But what I want is about a year or two worth of data so I can see what not the lead cost is, but the cost to acquire a customer is. Because if the lead cost is $1, but I can only convert 1 in 1,000, it's not as valuable as if the lead cost is 10 and I convert 1 in 10, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So cost to acquire a customer is the most important metric, and it takes time to figure that out per lead source, right?
You're right. Sanjeev, do you retarget the converted leads only, or do you retarget the ones who haven't been converted as well?
That is a very smart question. Both. So, but they're different messages. Obviously, if you signed up, we're going to use messaging that's our branding and the fact that we know you're in our CRM and we've been trying to contact you. If you didn't sign up, it's typically an image or a YouTube ad saying, "Hey, what's wrong with us?" You know, like basically making fun of, "I know you checked out the site, but we didn't do good enough job. Like, let us know what we can do." Or, "Hey, did you know that you can view sold prices?" Or, "Hey, did you know we have a VIP buyers list that has off-market listings? If you want access to that, click here," and make it nice and easy for them to change their mind and sign up if they didn't the first time, right?
Yeah, I like that. And how often are you adjusting your dollars, frequency, placement, etc.?
So I've got my campaigns dialed in my major market for my team. I've had them dialed in for so many years. The main adjustment I'm doing is the daily budget to determine how many leads we want. Because the lead cost is pretty static. It hasn't really changed other than going up $1 or two, per year here or there.
Hmm.
So what we do is if I need, if I have 20 agents or 30 agents and each one needs X amount, then I'm going to turn it up or turn it down based on the lead flow and based on in the CRM, if any of them are just not being called and not being followed up with. I know there's too many. So that's like the major one. When it comes to retargeting, I like people to see it, 4 or 5 times frequency, if not more. Because you don't have to pay for them to view it. Impressions are free in the display network in Google Ads. You just pay when they click it. So getting
That's
your
it.
face and your team and your value proposition in front of them is free until they click it. And if they click it, obviously make that offer on the next page so compelling that they actually do it.
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pop in. I'm gonna just type in something in Google. We'll do this live. Let me see if I
Love it.
can. Where's my Google page? There it is. All right, give me a city. Give me a city and a state, everyone. Or Kory, where should I go, man? Where should
Maybe
I go? And
somebody,
let's see what we
see if
got.
somebody in here. Omaha, Columbia.
Omaha. Let's go Omaha.
Omaha, yeah.
I'm gonna go with the old school homes for sale. Okay, homes for sale in Omaha is. Would you say that's how they would type in? Probably, right?
Probably.
So you've
So
got four
homes.com.
Realtor.com. Oh, the
Yeah,
Briley
you
team.
see
Somebody's doing their work. I like that.
somebody's putting in work.
And Redfin. Those are the
Yep.
ones that are sponsored. Out of these, Homes doesn't sell leads. They sell impressions, just more reach for you. So
Yeah.
they're not a competitor, but Realtor.com and Redfin are. They're collecting
Yeah.
leads and selling them right to you. So
Yeah.
this company, whoever they are, they decided that they don't want to play this game, right? They want to play the game that Kory's playing. That's why I brought him
Yeah.
in, because I want you to play the same game. I want to empower you guys. And Kory's got this free course. It's going to be a lot of hours put in on your part, but he put in all of his best stuff in there. I want you all to take it. It's free. There is absolutely no excuse to not do this. You'll learn something along the way. I signed up and I'm probably going to do it. Kory, I sent it to Trenton on my team. He's our director of technology. I'm like, hey, you know what? You're probably going to want to do this as well. So it just keeps us on top of anything. And I'll probably reach out to you to do another one of these, but I want to focus on the sequence after. So, like your systems, follow up. How do you determine how many leads go to how many agents? How do you know if an agent is succeeding with this or not?
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Are you down with that?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the platform and just like you said, teaching gets you better at understanding stuff. I found it so much like so rewarding and so satisfying to just like help agents not struggle as much as I struggled in the beginning. It's painful in this business when you're not doing business and you're spending money. And man, absolutely, I'd love to come back and help in any way that I can for sure.
Perfect, man. I did put up the link there. Kory's free Google Ads Masterclass. And Do you do question from Madar, Kory. Do you also do organic, so SEO besides PPC?
So I don't teach SEO, though I've been like any other team owner. I've been, optimizing my website for 15 years. One really interesting thing about Google pay-per-click is you can get lots of visits to your website. And when it's a real estate website and they come back and they view listings, they have a pretty good time on site. So as you do more and more click traffic through pay-per-click, organically it starts to rank as a signal for Google to say, hey, people like this website and they keep coming back. So it rises together. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's do a part 2 to this sometime in February. You up for that?
Love to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Then I put up the link. You could probably reach him through that as well. It's a community. Kory, you'll see me in there a couple of times as well. So everyone else, thank you so much. Kory, appreciate you, man.
You too, man. Thanks, Tristan. Take care, buddy.